what we're doing here at GSA with regards to cloud computing, and I want to welcome Katie Lewin, who's the Chief of Staff for our Chief Information Officer, who's going to talk about GSA's Cloud Computing Initiative, and Tom Freeman, Julian Begley, and Mark, I'm sorry, I don't, is it Mark or was there someone else with you, Julie?
Yes, it's Mark Jefferson.
Who we're going to join us to talk about the strategy and reality of moving our USA.gov website to the cloud. Welcome to you all, and we definitely would like to make this an interactive session. We want to take questions, so feel free to talk to people, if something comes up, and we'll get started. Katie, would you like to go first?
Sure. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. As Lisa said, my name is Katie Lewin. I'm the Chief of Staff to the Chief Information Officer here at GSA, and I'm also the Program Manager for the Cloud Computing Initiative, which is housed here in GSA. I wanted to give you all an overview of what we've done, where we are, and please interrupt me as I go for questions. This is sort of a status of what we've done, and we have a lot farther to go. So the program status, or kind of the orientation of the program, is that the federal government had a line of business called ITI, which is Information Technology Initiative, and that was in existence for about 2 years, and they were focused on IT infrastructure. They did a lot of benchmarking, they did some metrics, they did some trend analysis, but their focus was infrastructure. So we have now moved on from measuring where we are to actually realizing some of the lessons and some of the benefits of doing all that measurement. The first project for ITI will be cloud computing. Again, we're building on the ITI initiative, and what we're looking for is to set up a couple of procurement vehicles and some pilots to demonstrate how cloud computing might be used in the federal government to do the things that are listed here. So migrate towards a service-based environment, enable rapid deployment of technology, enable scalability for existing and new capabilities, increase savings through virtualization, reduce costs of infrastructure potentially, and improve the government's ability in keeping with the goals of this administration for transparency and open and participatory government. This is really just a walkthrough. So ITI line of business talked about virtualization, optimization. They had a collaborative governance framework with about 23 agencies. They captured and analyzed critical information, and they benchmarked. The key here is we can build on the benchmarks and the lessons learned, and the 23 federal agency governance structure is going to be very useful to us because, 4 people at GSA cannot even begin to determine what the varied needs of the federal government are. So yesterday we convened the first meeting of a working group that represented some of those 23 agencies, and we're planning to use them to do a lot of things, including help us with use cases, help us review cloud computing packages, and help us to deploy common solutions. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I'm not going to read these next couple slides to you, but I just wanted to give you a flavor of where sort of the impetus or the root of this cloud computing project is coming from. The first slide that you're looking at now is a site from the federal budget, Analytic Perspectives. So if you look at the federal budget, there's usually a very large, thick volume which has all of the numbers by program, by agency, by bureau. And then there's a companion document called Analytic Perspectives, which talks about the priorities of the current administration and what they're planning on doing over the next budget cycle. So there's a site here that you can look at this entire document, but as you can see, they're looking to use cloud computing to deploy enterprise-wide common solutions and to save money and build on virtualization and consolidation. Another reference point for everyone is the cloud computing definition. So the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, has a cloud computing definition. The next 2 pages are the text of that definition. What's sort of interesting is that it's a living definition. So it's been updated, I would say, about 3 or 4 times since it first was published. And again, there's a site here if you want to go and look at it. But the second page talks about the characteristics, the delivery models, and the deployment models. The delivery models are probably what I'm going to be concentrating on most, and those are software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. We are concentrating right now on ways to make software as a service available and platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Platform as a service is something we will be working on, but right now our concentration is on software and infrastructure. The deployment models, private, anywhere on the continuum from private cloud to public cloud with hybrid in between, is something that I will talk about a little bit, but that's really more of a match your business need to the cloud environment that you want, or the cloud deployment methodology that you want to use. This is the framework, and I would urge you, I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but one of the things about cloud computing is everyone has their own definition of what it is. And when I first started working on this, I consulted with Gartner and with Forrester. And someone at Forrester actually advised me never to use the term cloud computing. He said what we really should talk about is X as a service. So plug in the service that you want and call it as a service. Cloud computing is a confusing term. Everyone has a different definition. So hence my sort of alerting you to the NIST definition. But then there's another level of documentation or definition that has been helpful when we've been talking to agencies and to the vendor community, and that is this framework. This will evolve over time, but the 3 elongated boxes at the upper left are the 3 services that we're looking to concentrate on. Then the user tools are perpendicular on the right, and then the provisioning capabilities or service capabilities are those across the bottom. This again it's a draft. We have used it several times. It's evolving as we move forward in our understanding of cloud computing and also what other elements might be in the user tools or the service delivery capabilities. But if you all are looking to start using cloud computing technology, my advice is to have something like this so that everyone's kind of talking in the same level. And you can use the NIST definition if that's applicable as well. Our delivery model overview, this is really just a way for us to, again, further define what do we mean by software as a service, and the capability provided column will give you a definition of that. And then what are examples of services? So for example, for software as a service, we're looking at stuff like wikis and blogs. If you all have seen data.gov, that's an instance of launching a governance service in a cloud. For platform as a service, that's probably the most sophisticated in terms of technology, and that's where you would actually do development and testing on a infrastructure that you would buy a slice of. So that is something, as I said, that we're kind of leaving till second. And then infrastructure as a service is something that we really are concentrating on right now. And that's the ability to buy, for the government, to buy, if you will, a slice of an infrastructure and then use it to do things like storage, application hosting, that kind of stuff, and have all of the elements of cloud computing, including elasticity, continuity, consistency. I think the security can be better. Those kinds of benefits in a infrastructure